Senator Harry Reid on the debt thing.
We believe in taking a balanced approach that cuts spending while closing taxpayer loopholes. We also believe in compromise, especially when our entire economy hangs in the balance.
Yeah, and what polls show 71% of Americans want that too. The Republicans, however, as represented by Republican Joe, I don't even know this
Jose
guy.
Scalise.
Yes.
And the president, I think, has shown that he's not serious about addressing the problem of out-of-control spending.
Wow.
Okay.
That's not true.
Let's check in with the real deal. Representative Sander Levin, ranking member of the House Ways and Means Committee, who is in the thick of it. Good morning, Congressman.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thanks so much for taking time for us.
Glad to be with you.
So decipher this for us lay people. What's actually going on in Washington with all this?
Well, essentially, we've hit a stubborn kind of a stone wall with House Republicans, as evidenced yesterday. They say don't touch revenues, don't close tax loopholes, don't touch the higher income tax rates. What they're saying is cut spending, that's the answer, nothing else. And when you look at what they want to cut, for example, end Medicare, the American public realizes how stubborn and just determined they are to bring the house down if necessary, bring the economy down.
Are you at all heartened by these polls I was just mentioning, that at least, the American people seem to get what's going on and don't approve of the Republicans' handling of it?
Yes, I was just reading the Washington Post, and it says more than three-quarters of Americans say the Republican leadership is too adverse to compromise. That's what Harry Reid was talking about.
That's right.
And this is most important, I think. Even among Republicans, 58% see the GOP as too resistant to a deal. That's really what's going on here. They are adamant, and they came up with a constitutional amendment proposal yesterday that had all kinds of supermajority votes to do anything. And so where are we? I think more and more the public is catching on to Republican radical resistance.
Congressman, what is your take on this, the president having to use his constitutional authority to just go around Congress to do this if the Republicans take us to the brink here?
That's really not the answer. It hasn't happened. It's questionable whether it could be used. What the president has been saying to everybody here, stand up and be counted on the side of action. And just the thought that we could go through this, it's so extended, and not take action and have all the adverse consequences on the financial structure of this country and indeed globally. We worry about what's happening in Greece and the need for them to act and the ramifications if they don't. Think what would happen if this huge economy of ours was allowed to just go into disarray.
Well, and your colleague, Representative Jose Serrano, take a listen yesterday.
This will not solve our nation's problems, but instead devastate our economy and the most vulnerable in our society.
Jose's right.
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, that's what it just seems so incredible to me that it seems like, remember last summer we were right down almost to a government shutdown. Like, here we go again. How do you see this one shaking out exactly?
I think in the end we'll act. I think there's a realization among most who don't have their ears plugged and blinders on that we just can't let the full faith and credit of the U.S. essentially be undermined and destroyed even for a minute.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know how you argue with people that don't even agree that it's a real deadline. I mean, there are people like Darrell Issa that are saying this isn't a real deadline. Nothing's going to happen after August 2nd.
They say, well, it's scare tactics. Well, almost every economist says otherwise. Bernanke says, the Federal Reserve Chair says otherwise. And I don't know. I mean, they're so adamant that they're willing to play with fire. But the sparks are flying, and if Republicans don't provide enough votes, this economy, which is having enough trouble, could tumble further. That's the long and short of it.
Yep.
That's the long and short of it. Sometimes issues are very, very complicated. In this case, there's really no choice but one, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes people won't even step up to the plate. When the only ball that could be hit is there's just one.
Yep, exactly. Well, Representative, we really appreciate it, particularly in your position on the House Ways and Means Committee, that you update us on what's going on. And I know we'll talk again soon before this is all over.
Let's do it because the proposal today that came from the so-called Gang of Six at least said revenues have to be considered closing loopholes, and they also said, and I looked at the material, that Medicare has to be preserved. Now, I hope that's the position now of some Republicans. That hasn't been the position up till now.
Yep.
And by the way, where are the proposals on jobs, right?
Yeah. No. Exactly. For people that keep
Ways
screaming.
And Means,
Yeah.
I've been on the committee all these years. And now these months, the Republicans haven't come up with a single proposal that would create jobs, while they want to essentially allow unemployment benefits for millions of people to be ended.
Yep, absolutely. Congressman, not if you have your way. Representative Sandra Levin of the great state of Michigan, thanks so much. We appreciate you.